Hey everyone, I'm Chris, and this is Cue the Credits. Welcome back to Cue the Credits, the home of everything physical media and the art of collecting. Today we are diving into the grid with not one, but two limited edition 4K steelbooks from Disney. This is of course Tron and Tron Legacy. So quite honestly, Disney have been putting out some really nice steelbooks, and this is obviously the new Disney Sony merger for their physical media, but you can't argue that these aren't some beautiful releases. But honestly, as much as they are doing great work in steelbooks, the normal 4K for Tron and Tron Legacy respectively really had me on the fence for this. And I know a few videos ago I said I'm not doing steelbooks. Well, I can't help it because I absolutely adore Tron. So when I saw these, I was like, you know what, I've got to get them. But the standards come out in a few weeks, and will these be going on the resale market when I see the standards in person? I'm not 100% sure. So in this video, I'm going to take you through the packaging on both of these releases and then tell you what I thought about how they hold up in 4K. Are they worth you picking up? Should you stick with the standard Blu-rays? So let's dive into it. But before we get into the unboxing, let's sprinkle a little bit of context onto this actual release. Tron originally came out in 1982. It was a groundbreaking piece of sci-fi cinema that pioneered the way that CGI would be used going forward within film, and this just hadn't ever been done before. It is definitely one of those films where the visuals are so iconic even 43 years on. Though the tech has aged, and I'll talk about that a little bit in the review, it is still great to see. Fast forward to 2010, 28 years after Tron originally hit the cinema screens, and Tron Legacy gets released. A sequel which once again pioneers CGI and visual effects for that era, but it also comes with the caveat of the music was a reasonably big thing in Tron, but now music and audio is a pivotal piece of Tron Legacy, with Daft Punk helming the soundtrack. And honestly, I still listen to this soundtrack to this day 15 years later. It is so good. And also Jeff Bridges reprises his role as Kevin Flynn within this sequel. Both films are very different in tone, but together they create this wonderful world, and both of these releases are great for collectors if you are a Tron lover like myself. So now you're all caught up with context, let's get into Tron. First, let's unbox it. So as you can see, front of the packaging here, I'm really appreciating that on these releases we're getting none of the annoying glue anymore, and we're just getting this slidable cardboard J-card. Switching over to the back, you've got the little bit of artwork here, all of the special features that are on this, and your general tech specs as well. These do come with Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos. Let's take off that J-card so we can get a full look at this artwork. So this artwork does mimic the previous artwork that we had on the last Steelbook release, which was just a standard Blu-ray. You do also get a couple of the vehicles, and you get a little bit of the grid and the light cycles as well. Onto the spine here, we've got Disney Tron with the Disney logo on top. Not sure if we needed two Disney logos, honestly. And then we've got the same character shot from the front. And then finally, we've got one of the more iconic shots on the back there. Onto the inside, we've got some new artwork on the discs. So we've got the 4K disc with the disc on, and then we've got the standard Blu-ray with this new artwork, which is also the artwork that is on the standard Amaray release. I really appreciate that Disney are doing artwork on the discs again, not just blue discs. And then the interior of the Steelbook, we get those light cycles on the grid. It's a nice little bit of artwork there. I like that when you put the discs back in, you're still getting pretty much all of that image. It just gets enhanced when you take the discs out rather than being just totally blocked. And there you go. That's the front again. It's got a nice little bit of metallic shine on it as well. So really do like the look of this. And then onto Legacy, we've got the same J-card again there. Onto the back, we've of course got the character shots, a little description, and the bonus features again with the tech specs here. Once again, Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos on this. This is also a region-free release, as with Tron as well. So let's pop this J card off and let's have a look at the front. So both of the designs are basically mimicking the look of each other, but with the various characters. Of course, we get Garrett Hedlund and Olivia Wilde along with Jeff Bridges. This is a really nice design on this, and it is quite matte, but there are slight bits of spot gloss. I'm not sure whether I'll be able to get it to be picked up, but it's mainly in the disc, so that's really nice. Onto the side we've got characters again here. Onto the spine we've got, of course, Tron Legacy, double Disney again, and then the two main characters on the bottom, and then we have another iconic shot, once again mimicking the standard Tron release there, and frustratingly another copyright from Disney. We get it, you did the film. Onto the inside we get new disc designs again, another updated light disc on the 4K, and then we also get double bridges on the Blu-ray disc. These are different designs to the standard Blu-ray that we got previously, and then inside we get that shot of Sam Flynn on the light cycle race. Lovely standard design. It once again just gets enhanced by taking the discs out. So there's another look at the Steelbook there for you, and to bring in the Tron one as well, so you can see both of them together, both of the rears, then them sitting together and how they would look on the shelf. I think it's safe to say that both of these designs look absolutely stunning. The black and blue on Legacy, the blues and the reds on the original Tron, an absolutely stunning job. Let's talk about the actual transfer though, starting off with Tron. So here I've got the original Blu-ray transfer. This is in another Steelbook. It felt right to get a Steelbook to replace the Steelbook, right? Actually, before we get onto the transfer, you've seen this, you've seen how lovely and beautiful it looks. I was a relative fan of this, and then actually looking at it closely, you can see here how like low res this Steelbook transfer was, and they just couldn't be bothered to up-res it, or you know what, maybe they didn't have the tech to do it. Though this is kind of a nice design, it is a bit busy, and actually looking at it, it's not great quality. They also love to plaster the original classic because it was coming out just at the same time as Legacy. Anyway, tangent over. Tron 4K. This transfer is a delight, to say the least. The picture looks absolutely incredible. Now, Disney have been basically doing a roadshow around quite a few theatres, talking about the extensive 4K transfer that they've been doing. There is a Last Movie Standing video that I'll link down in the description talking about that, because let's just say they were a little bit questionable about how they were marketing this transfer and like the stuff that they've done. I must say though, comparing both, this looks great. So even though it may have been a little bit misleading of how much they did on this transfer, or the ways that they did it, it looks absolutely incredible. The one thing I was worried about going into this was, of course, the CGI. This film spends a lot of time within the grid, spends a lot of time with characters and outfits being not real. They're all computer generated, as well as like light cycle battles and things like that. It is safe to say that all of that looks like it's been made yesterday. Like, even though it's dated, and of course the film was set in the 80s, going into a computer in the 80s, so though it looks dated, it is what it should look like, in my personal opinion. Like, it'd be weird if you had a film in the 80s and then they went into a computer in the 80s and it looked like pristine, cool graphics. So yeah, it doesn't look like it's just got dated graphics slapped onto a high resolution disc, and that was my biggest worry. It all looks and like feeds into each other really, really nicely. The Dolby Vision on this just enhances the colour as it should. I didn't find any issues with like colour clarity or colour correctness on there. It does just look like a great transfer. which is exactly what you want from a 4K. Quite honestly, you could show this to someone and it not feel dated. Maybe some of the sets and stuff, but the actual transfer, it looks really, really good. Now onto the audio. This is of course rocking double Dolby with an Atmos track to boot. It's good, but personally it is nothing groundbreaking. It doesn't really add much to the actual track bar a little bit of extra depth. The dialogue is clear and the sound effects sound great, and the score has some lovely presence, but don't expect this to be a reference disc for you. I'd consider it more of a faithful representation rather than an absolute presentation. So now we spoke Tron, let's get on to Tron Legacy now. And as I said, this black and blue and slight bit of orange just works together so gorgeously on this. Though if we're talking about previous Steelbooks, I must admit that I really love this previous Blu-ray 3D Steelbook with the light cycle race design on the back. Like, it is so glossy that I've got to hold it like this so it doesn't catch anything else. But it looks great. This is a lovely, lovely design though. Like, together, oh, it's a bit of a tough one, but I like that this is mimicking the Tron one, so they look really nice next to each other. Anyway, onto the actual film. Now, Tron Legacy has looked absolutely stunning ever since it's come out. Obviously, you just saw the 3D Blu-ray. That was a great presentation. In the cinema in IMAX, it was spot on. On Blu-ray, it looked incredible. 4K, this had all the makings to being a great release. And I'm happy to say that it absolutely is. Honestly, this is one of my most excited releases because I adore Tron Legacy as a movie. This didn't disappoint. This is a full-on reference quality disc. The Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos to boot just work together so perfectly. They honestly just shine. Let's start with the sound. The sound mix is absolutely booming. I was having stuff shake just from the bass alone. The Daft Punk elements of the soundtrack and the score is just absolutely incredible. Side tangent, one of my best memories of IMAX is actually Tron Legacy. Went and saw it in a really big IMAX screen that used to be within Birmingham at a science centre, and the next morning I woke up with what can only be described as a sound hangover because the sound was that good and loud, and that is like a core memory of Tron Legacy for me. So I think that's probably another reason why it holds such a dear place in my heart. Anyway, back to it. The Atmos of it, everything's working and everything's putting in the work on this. Top speakers are making everything sound more atmospheric. You've got things going back and behind you. Sound effects are punchy and keeping you on the edge of your seat. It just sounds so good. That's all I can do. That's all I can say. Get this 4K Steelbook or standard just for the sound alone. If you've got a full surround sound Atmos setup, especially, I definitely recommend it. It is also going to be one of those ones which you use to show off the sound system. Like I've been using Hacksaw Ridge and the Batman for quite a while. This is going to be a reference to show off the sound system now. Visually, the Dolby Vision makes this film an absolute treat for the eyes. Like I said, this film has looked incredible anyway for the past 15 years. Dolby Vision just absolutely enhances that. With the dark blacks and the glowing neon that is throughout this film, it just makes the grid look spectacular. And there is no sense of like questionable CGI and just things looking a bit like, ugh. It just looks great. Like, if you can't tell, I love this transfer. I love this film. Just, yeah, go and pick it up. Though, talking about bad CGI, we've got to talk about the Jeff Bridges de-aging and the clue of it all. At the time, it was divisive. It was like the start of the de-aging like phenomenon that went on in the 2010s and is still kind of happening now. This new remaster really takes you into like the uncanny valley. So much so that me and my other half were watching it the other night, and right at the start, no spoilers, but de-aged Bridges turns to the camera and like he spikes the camera. My God, we literally both went, whoa! It is it's intense, let's just say that. I think it's really telling that like that bit of tech is just the thing that hasn't aged well, like compared to how good the CGI looks in Tron from 1982 and how great everything else looks. That de-aging is just, it's a real stickler. It doesn't look bad, it's just the bit of your brain that hasn't properly evolved is telling like the cognitive bit of your brain that that isn't right and you don't like it. So it does slightly make you go, oh. So yeah, everything else about this transfer and this film is incredible. It's just, you know, it was a thing 15 years ago, it's still a thing now, but it looks good. It just makes the weird look weirder. So that is Tron and Tron Legacy. These are both fantastic 4K transfers. And once again, as I said in my Master and Commander and Kingdom of Heaven video, if Disney/Sony keep putting out bangers like this, I'm going to keep buying them. I can't really support the, you know, scarcity that's happening at the moment. Overall, they're really, really good releases. The one negative thing that I would say is extras. So there are no new extras on either one of these discs. With Tron, you get everything that was on the previous Blu-ray releases, and then with Legacy, you get all of the stuff that was on the previous releases. There isn't even any new commentaries. It probably would have been nice to get, you know, something, because technically this is a 15-year anniversary edition. I know that both of these are coming out because of Ares coming out in like 2 weeks in the cinemas. I am praying to the Disney gods that these designs are going to mimic the release that we get for Ares, because if they don't, my OCD is going to go off the charts of like, why did you release it 2 weeks before with a specific art style and you're not going to follow that through? But I'm not going to get frustrated until we see the Ares design. Either way, the 4K alone is worth the pickup. If you haven't got the Blu-ray either, you get a Blu-ray in this and you get all of those special features. But the 4K discs are phenomenal. They do go hands down over the Blu-rays, and I would recommend an upgrade, especially for Legacy, considering this is a reference disc. Let me know down in the comments, are you an original classic 82 or are you a Tron Legacy believer? Or do you just like visiting the grid? Thank you so much for checking out this episode of Cue the Credits. Don't forget to like, leave your comments down below about which film you prefer, and hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate you taking your time out and talking movies with me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace.